Well, it's not just heat stroke and dehydration. With Singapore projected to get warmer in the next few decades, concern is growing about the increased risk of serious heat-related illnesses and chronic conditions. We look at what's being done in Singapore to prepare people and places for it.
Doing well,
This climactic chamber at the Yong Lu Lin School of Medicine is simulating what a normal day outdoors could feel like by mid-century. Set to a blistering 40 degrees Celsius and 40% humidity, the chamber is helping to put numbers onto the growing list of ways heat stress can harm people.
This climatic chamber we have allow us to simulate various environmental conditions. Usually we undertake experiments here via passively heating out an individual, maybe looking at cognitive performance, learning ability, or in most cases exerting individuals while they are performing a task, looking at their limits in various conditions.
It's important work in anticipation of hotter days ahead. A recent national climate study showed that if the world fails to rein in global warming, the island state could heat up by as much as 5 degrees Celsius by the year 2100. Studies are already underway to understand the effect of rising heat on heart attacks and fertility. But it's not just serious conditions we need to worry about. The National University Health System says heat exhaustion cases spike in the hotter months of the year, but there may be more cases that go unnoticed.
By the time they come to the emergency department, it tends to be a more serious form of heat illness. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. And probably the majority of them, they might present as fatigue or vague symptoms like, tiredness, lethargy, for which they may not actually want to come to the emergency department. So we won't see the true burden, numbers of cases that will be experienced in the community.
The hotter weather can also make things worse for chronic conditions like asthma or eczema.
Many patients with common conditions like eczema or even chronic urticaria can be worsened or induced by heat. So these patients often experience more frequent exacerbations of their conditions in this time.
Managing the impact of hotter days on public health requires solutions for people and places to cool down. A team at the National University of Singapore has been working with HDB, schools and hospitals on strategies like using cooling paint and natural ventilation. But people also need to acclimatize to the warmer weather and rely less on air conditioning.
One very important thing is we do not want to encourage people to just turn on aircon, when they feel warm from when they feel hot. Because by doing that, you are going to encourage more usage of air conditioning, more usage of cooling, and cooling will become unsustainable.
The answer to reducing the impact of rising heat on public health may lie in how well the built environment and the population can adapt. But with the climate clock ticking and the mercury rising, the question now is how quickly it can be done.